Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So, some of you had asked, we are going to Ottawa for the Line 1 Confederation Line opening on September 14th. We posted in the community chat on our channel, which is something you should check out here and there. You should see it in your sub box, but if you don't, we post kind of updates and messages there sometimes. We're going to be going, so stay tuned. There's going to be a lot of content on the O-Train Confederation Line. Now, before we get started, I just wanted to say, if you aren't already, consider supporting us on Patreon and following us on our two Instagram channels, reece.m.martin and Textures of Toronto, as well as following us at rm_transit. Now, the astute among you may have noticed that, 1986, that's when the SkyTrain opened. So what does the SkyTrain have to do with anything these days? Well, the O-Train Confederation Line, much like the SkyTrain, as well as the Montreal Metro and the Toronto Subway, is a proper metro/rapid transit system/subway. It's fully grade separated, meaning that no people can walk across the tracks. I mean, unless they jump on the tracks. Cars cannot drive across the tracks, so the trains are pretty much in their own dedicated track and right of way. Whereas other train systems, for example, GO trains, for example, have level crossings and there are places where pedestrians can walk across the tracks. That's not the case with a system like the Confederation Line. Now, the Confederation Line has been very deceptive. See, it's often referred to as an LRT because the vehicles it uses are LRT vehicles. They're essentially just low-floor trams, which are the same as LRT vehicles. The thing is, I think LRT is a terrible term to describe any transit system because the term LRT is really a blanket term that actually primarily just describes these tram type vehicles connected together in a longer train set. You can really notice this because there's a ton of different LRT systems all operating in really different ways. For example, the Waterloo Ion system, which we'll link to here, is an LRT system that operates much like a tramway. There's nothing wrong with this, but it's much better suited to lower density areas and less demand. Tramways have pedestrian crossings and often run in roads or those sort of right-of-ways. The Toronto streetcar is technically an LRT. It operates the same sort of vehicles. It's even further down because it actually operates in often the same lanes as cars. Going up, the Eglinton Crosstown LRT, which hasn't opened but is currently under construction in Midtown Toronto, is a mix. So part of the line operates underground. This is also the case for a system like Seattle's Link Light Rail, where part of the system operates above ground. Now, I'm not sure I'm a huge fan of this design choice, because when you mix the different kind of right-of-ways, you have one section of the line which operates really quite fast and has certain station spacing, and then you have another section of the line that operates slower and has a totally different kind of style. I almost think it would be better to have the line have a linear transfer in the middle, because then the systems are operating independently and the fully grade separated system can operate at max tilt all the time, while the system operating at surface level can still operate frequently, but if it's a little less regular or there's delays here and there or trains operate a little out of schedule, that's okay and it doesn't affect the trains in the grade separated portion. So we're gonna have to see how a system like Eglinton operates. Anyways though, the O-Train Confederation Line is really awesome and unique in terms of LRTs in North America and as well as much of the world because it's fully grade separated. Just like the SkyTrain or the Toronto Subway or the Montreal Metro, you cannot walk across the tracks. The stations are large and significant, unlike many kind of traditional tramway style LRT stations, which are basically just different levels of bus shelters and that sort of thing. They're proper stations. They have fare gates and other things like that. Now, beyond having this really nice segregated right-of-way, the O-Train Confederation Line has a lot of other really nice features. Some of those features include ATO, which essentially means trains operate automatically. Now, unlike a system like the SkyTrain or the REM in Montreal, the trains will have drivers, however, they wouldn't need drivers. I'd actually be curious to see if there's a low-floor system operating somewhere without drivers. If you guys know such a system, I'd be interested to see it. Because the system is built with ATO, adding something like platform screen doors in the future is really simple, especially because the platforms are really low and they're basically built on solid concrete, so there's not going to be a huge structural issue. That's something that they're actually dealing with on the TTC if they want to add in platform screen doors. Another fantastic feature is the awesome fare gates. They're quite similar to Toronto's, which I know have some issues, but I think the system will probably have become a bit more refined over the years and the kinks will have been ironed out. In addition to taking Presto cards, a really awesome feature is that all the fare gates on the Confederation as well as the Trillium line, which has been renamed to Line 2, all operate with a QR code reader / barcode reader as well. Now this may not seem super exciting, but it really is. The awesome thing about a QR code reader is it means you could have, for example, a transit app where you get all your tickets. And since you can just scan your phone, you operate that way instead of using your Presto card. This wouldn't be as awesome if it weren't for the fact that Presto doesn't work currently on mobile phones, but it also opens up kind of other opportunities. For example, say you have a university student card. It could have a barcode or QR code printed on the back and you could scan that to use your UPass. Another option is if you have a concert ticket and the concert kind of event company wants to sponsor users to have discounted or free transit, then they could scan their ticket and use transit that way, which is a really awesome feature in my opinion. Finally, the trains have awesome announcements. Now this might not seem like a huge thing, but if you've been on the Canada Line in Vancouver, one of the most awesome features is that frequent announcements happen within the stations. This is also something you notice in the New York subway, where announcements happen when trains are entering the station, when doors are opening, doors are closing. Now, for people who aren't kind of hard of seeing, this might not seem like such a big deal, but for people who need it, having these announcements are absolutely fantastic. It's also great for people who are just generally distracted. Perhaps you're kind of looking at your phone and you hear, oh, the train's coming, I should put away my phone and get ready to board. Things like this are just the little details that make the experience just that much better and allow boarding to happen faster as well, meaning that delays are slightly less likely. Anyways, it's super exciting to see that Canada is finally going to have 4 metro systems. Honestly, when you look at the countries of the world, there's not actually that many that are at the level that they have 4 different metro systems. Of course, countries like Japan, China, and the US do, because they're giant countries with hundreds of millions of people. In China's case, billions of people. But there are many medium-sized countries like Canada, which is going on 40 million people, that maybe have 1, maybe 2 metro systems. So the fact that we have 4 now is fantastic. It's also awesome to see that a lot of money is being put now into the Montreal and Toronto metro systems / subway systems to upgrade them, adding new extensions, new lines, new trains, and just upgrading the legacy equipment so it's up to the standards of a brand new, beautiful line like the O-Train Confederation Line. Anyways guys, I think that's it for today's video. We're going to be in Ottawa on September 14th, so if you see us, make sure to say hi. Of course, don't say hi too much because we do need to film videos for you guys to watch. So, disclaimer there. That being said, we also will be doing our 4th Q&A sometime in the next few weeks, so we'll leave a link to that down in the description. Make sure to get your questions in because we'll be answering those again soon. I think that's it guys, so thanks for watching and as always, have a nice night.